I hope everyone is having a great day. This video is specific to multiplying fractions. It isn't attached to any specific homework or lesson in class, but really just looking at examples with fractions and using multiplication as the operation. So of course, to start, we're going to have a problem. So how about 1/6, and we'll multiply that by 3/5. Now, when we multiply fractions, it's different than addition and subtraction because we're not actually finding a least common multiple or a common denominator. When we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. So I would multiply both numerators and find a product. I would multiply both denominators and find a product. So 1 multiplied by 3 is 3, and 6 multiplied by 5, well, that's 30. Now, I could leave it that way. That says, hey, if I don't have a paper or anything that says in simplest form, sometimes this is the safest way to go. But if you're feeling like you want to challenge yourself, go ahead and go to simplest form and simplify by dividing each of these numbers by 3. Now why? Because I know 3 is divisible by 3, and so is 30. I have a final answer of 1/10. 1/10 is still equivalent to 3/30. Let's try it with a different problem. So I have 4 and 2/3, and I'm going to multiply that by 2 and 4/5. So when I'm doing this, the first thing, as you've seen on our Puzzled Penguin, is that the first thing Puzzled Penguin wants to do is multiply the whole numbers by each other and then go ahead and multiply the fractions. But now that's not how it's going to happen, because I have to go ahead and multiply by a denominator by my whole number. My denominator is telling me and I always think of terms of pizzas or pie. So my denominator tells me how many pieces are cut into that pizza. So in this case, with a denominator of 3, it's saying there are 3 pieces in each pie or pizza. Now that 4 as a whole is telling me I have 3 totally filled pizzas that I've taken the 3 pieces out of. And I have 4 of them, right? And I have 1 that I only have 2. Now, here's a common mistake. I have 4, so I would go 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. That's a common misconception. And because we're going to attend to precision, we're going to make sure we're still using that denominator. And it's 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. And then I add the 2 pieces left over from that 5th pizza that I haven't totally finished. So that ends up being 12 plus 2, which is 14. Now I would find the same answer by multiplying my denominator and my whole number and adding the numerator. I still get 14. So my little model down here, that's just a really great explanation of how I get to that. Like, what is the why behind multiplying my whole number and my denominator? So my first one is 14 over 3, and I'm going to multiply that by 14 over 5, or 14/5. I multiply straight across. My denominator is 15, and my numerator, I'm going to multiply 14 and 14, again, because I got those new numerators by multiplying the denominator and the whole number, and then adding the numerator to that product. So 14 multiplied by 14, I end up getting 196. I could say, hey, it's 196/15, but let's challenge ourselves to simplify. When I simplify, I look at that fraction as a division problem, which really that's what it is. A fraction is a tiny division problem. So I divide 196 by 15, and I get 1. I multiply that out, and I get 46. I then know 15 can go into 46 3 times, and that's 45 with 1 left over. So I'm going to circle certain things. The 13, that's my whole number. That's my whole number. That 1 is my numerator. And the 15 that I divided by, that's my denominator. So I can write this as 13 and 1/15 as a simplified answer. It's pretty powerful to be able to do that and identify the different parts. I hope this video helps walking through seeing different kinds of multiplication with fraction problems, and thanks for always giving me some great ideas for extra videos to help support your learning. I'm glad you joined me.